I've got something for y'all. Welcome back to World Championship Series League Heroes, as we have a free-for-all match between 8 players who are currently competing in the WCS. We're on Lava Flow. This is from the Memes and Dreams Invitational, put on by the Foreigner House in Korea, run by No Regret, with players like Scarlett and Elazer, several of which are in this match right now. But let's go around the horn and introduce our players. Remember, this is a free-for-all, so no one is allied with one another. But you can have some agreements. You can have some, maybe some under the table, underhanded options. So let's introduce in the top left. In the orange, it is sort of spawning as Protoss, not his normal choice. Solar from Team Splice, also as Protoss. Maybe they all had to go random? I'm not sure. Zanster from Storm Gaming. Lenok as Terran. Lambo as Terran as well. Elazer as Protoss. Scarlett gets Zerg. Hurricane also spawns as Protoss. So, it appears Scarlett and Hurricane the only ones to draw their own race. Not sure how much that will matter in a free-for-all. Yes, friend. Okay, peace. Hey, no, friend. Yes, friend. A lot of interesting agreements here. Sort of asked something in Korean. Who is he asking to be friend? We'll just see how it plays out, because only one can survive. Now, here's the dilemma in free-for-all. Is that... I don't even know what the production tab is showing me. Why do I even have the production tab right now? Any of these tabs are useless. But if you try to take out any opponents too early...
Just want to give you my money.
A laudable goal. Thank you. But if you try to take out someone near you very early on, you invest a lot of economy in a lot of your units, then you can just get overrun by someone who sat back and played defensive. And while the players in the middle are the most exposed to multiple angles, it's also risky for the players on the edges to go for them first, because then they're exposed around the edges. Let's not pretend there's a lot of strategy going into this. None of these players are taking free-for-all that seriously, but once we get down to a few players, I'm sure we're going to get a little bit more competitive. I'm not sure if there's any money on the line for this, but you know what? I'm going to say there's at least $5,000. I made that up, but there could be $5,000. If you don't look it up, you won't know. So we'll just assume I'm correct. Solar gets in with 2 adapts. Zanster losing a lot of his drones early on. He's got a Roach Warren on the way. The Queen doing her best, but a lot of drones have already fallen. Alright, lots of Zerglings out here for Scarlett. She's blocking on both sides. Off to a comfortable early lead, I would say. Being able to drive back Lambo as well as Elazer. It's going to be very hard for me because most of these players are not playing their normal races either. So that's some extra confusion. But Scarlett in the mineral line. There's an Oracle on the way. There are no shield batteries here. But Elazer is now tied up on a single base, losing probes. And Scarlett pretty much okay back home. What's the worker count? She's got 20 drones. Elazer has, oh my god, 19 probes, but only 1 Nexus here. No one can confirm that. You know what? The production tab just confuses me more than if there's nothing. So we're just going to try to see what's happening all throughout the map. It looks like Scarlett, the only one being too aggressive out of the entire map, besides Solar with a little bit of Adept Harass. Oh, it's so confusing. Hurricane has an observer looking at the antics of all 3 players on this side of the map. You do have the split between players in the north and in the south. Which side will have one player consolidate the entire area most quickly? That's the question. Nobody saw that. This game was too intense. We couldn't handle it. A slight pause as the action starts to heat up. Sort of versus Solar here. Solar on the high ground, but that's his main base exposed to Sort of's natural. He's got his back up against the island, so he's not... Oh, whoa, whoa, where did all this come from? Lambo in Scarlett's base. She's only got a handful of roaches and Ravagers, and Elazer's very angry about the harass from earlier, bringing in some Adepts. And his Oracle. Lambo in a comfortable position to take out the rest of Scarlett's units here. She was looking good early on, but not prepared for Lambo to come down from the northern side. Will she actually be able to deal with these Hellbats? The Adepts will shade away, realizing Lambo's doing his job for him. More diving into the main. Scarlett's Queen trying to engage the Oracle, but it has enough energy. It will burn right through. There are no Spore Crawlers here. Scarlett has lost all the drones at the net. The main base is burning. And, of course, the appropriate remark is a question mark. Scarlett will actually be the first to tap out. That early aggression against Elazer without the economy to hold up against Lambo's backstab. No respect with the Hellbats. And Scarlett is the first casualty. 7 players remain. Phoenix is coming in, sort of, has found a very effective unit. If you want to be maneuverable, if you want to be on top of everything and still have some defensive capabilities, you build Phoenixes. But Phoenixes, not so great here. Zanster, is he a friend of Solar? He's just ignoring Solar's army in order to kill Sorta. Phoenix is not so great against Zerglings and Mass Stalker. He's picking up a Ravager, but dozens of Zerglings stream through into the main, and he's sort of dead. It appears this impromptu alliance between Zanster and Solar has combined to make sure Sort of won't be making it much further into this game. The Terran players on the northern center and the southern center seem to be comfortable. Zanster, yeah, there's definitely an alliance here as he's... Well, wait! The betrayal! Zanster kills all the units on the ground. Solar caught unawares. The unofficial, the unlikely and barely held truce is broken as Zanster realizes he can just get us around. No respect. You can't trust anyone in a free-for-all. Sort of looking for options here. He'll re-expand, but... Wait, whose Nexus is that? That's Sort of Nexus. It looks like Solar is looking to take that one. Zanster comes in, kills off some more probes. Somehow an Adept from Hurricane got into Lambo's base here. Hurricane left... Okay, well, the classic team game strategist, Hurricane left well enough alone throughout most of this and has expanded to the island where he's building carriers. Hurricane building up power and has reached a Category 5 of danger. As he continues to transfer probes over, unawares to anyone else on the map, Hurricane now has 3 bases and is building carriers. Is anyone going to have a match for this? Everybody's fighting it out in the north. Scarlett is already tapped out, and everyone else is taking big hits towards the southern angle. Hurricane sitting on his island with his carriers. He's at 122 supply. No one else even over 100. Hurricane is the man to beat now, and nobody knows it. We would have seen someone talking about it. I'm sure when these carriers finally move out, whoever is hit first is going to be calling out for some sort of armistice, because no one's going to be able to stop these carriers on their own. Solar no manner. Sort of has the rest of his probes pulled. Hurricane up to 140 supply. At less than 10 minutes in a free-for-all, the carriers pop out. A scan. He scans. He doesn't quite see the carriers. In Lambo's vision, he doesn't quite see the carriers. He sees the sky toss. There's no one knows yet. Oh, God. Is this just going to be Hurricane wiping over the entire map with a impossible-to-beat Sky Toss force? No one can compete with this. Three Thors. He thinks he's just dealing with Void Race. He's not just dealing with Void Race. I think Elazer is about to find that out. Has Elazer seen the island? He has not yet. The Oracle shot down. The carrier's on the field. Does he have Graviton Catapult? Yes, he does. The Thors are melted. No anti-armor missiles here. Lambo will be purified. A mothership is on the way. Wait, that one's for Elazer, who's struggling to 3 bases, but there's nothing on this southern half of the map that can even remotely touch Hurricane's army. Leenock, help me. Leenock sitting by with his marine tank. Is actually going to help sort of. Wait, this is Solar's base. This is Solar. These are sort of assimilators, but it's Solar's base here as Leenock's Marines come out. No one has mentioned the carriers yet. Lambo knows about them, but Lambo can't stop them. 157 supply for Hurricane, who has 4 bases. Sort of essentially eliminated. Lambo does have 3 bases of his own, one of them being a gold. Okay, so last I checked, 7 carriers, 4 Void Rays, and a mothership beat 4 carriers. So, Elazer is thinking the same thing, but he has much less economy to use. I think I forgot to turn up the sound on this from when we were playing arcade earlier. There you go. Solar eliminating what's left of Sort of. I think Sort of is still in the game, technically. He doesn't have enough minerals for another Nexus, so he's just sad. Zanster finds out all about the carriers. Okay, Zanster has a pretty solid economy. He's got 68 drones. He's going on 2 gold bases. He's got queens and infestors. Leenock has turtled up on 2 bases, like this is Wings of Liberty. Lambo caught between 2 Sky Toss right now. He's got 161 supply. But he can barely afford to fight one of them, let alone both. Elazer doesn't want to risk his units, so he's not engaging Lambo. It looks like Hurricane gonna work his way around the southern flank. Sort of still microing his Phoenixes, but there goes Elazer's base. I'm not sure what the upgrades are here. Hurricane's maxed out. There's really no risk in, well, not a huge risk in fighting for him. Elazer will lose another base, be brought down to 2, and that's not a Sky Toss economy. Lambo now getting hit, sort of is still in the game. Lambo's approaching 200 supply. There's danger there. A lot of players approaching 200 supply. Zanster also a threat. This Sky Toss army being melted. Hurricane sweeping through. Lambo, many base, says Sort of. But Solar starting to cut into that. Many, many base. Really articulating the point well. Zanster actually has the most bases of anyone on the map, but Hurricane is continuing to expand. Zanster not maxed out yet. Elazer has been cleaned off the map. He just didn't have the carriers, and now he doesn't have anything to care about. Is Elazer actually going to fight Lambo here? Lambo caught in kind of in less than ideal location. Elazer going to lose his last Nexus. How much money does he have? He has enough for more Nexi, but he can't get to the island. Lambo actually going to the island himself. But Zanster is getting closer to maxing out. Leenock is trying to float to the island. He's going to be in for a route. He has floated this command center from the top center of the map to the bottom right, where Hurricane has nearly mined out going for carriers. Lambo losing some of his exterior bases as well. Elazer, the last of his units being purified. He actually gets the mothership with his dying breath. Of course, he loses everything of his own. Lambo realizes Hurricane's army is in that top left. He's moving to cut off some of his economy. There's only a few carriers back at home. The army going to be recalled, but he's going to move right under it. Maybe some anti-armor missiles can come out. They connect directly home. All the interceptors are anti-armored as well, but he decides not to engage. He doesn't want to fight that carrier fleet head-on. The carriers are moving forward. They don't care how much armor they have or do not. Lambo at 173 supply, no gas in the bank. Hurricane with plenty of money, nearly maxed out himself. He's going to work on Lambo next. How much energy is left on the Ravens? He's going for the repair, trying to fight the interceptors head-on. The Thors are in full retreat. What else is there for Lambo? He gets a couple more Thors out. One immediately dies. The Thor's going to try to engage this. Where are the anti-armor missiles? He's not connected. Oh, he gets them right in the heart of the Protoss army. The Thor is trying to move forward. Is there enough to actually take down these carriers? He's getting one with each volley. The carrier is starting to be whittled down, but the Void Ray is doing a lot of damage as well. The SCV's pulled to repair. 2 more carriers fall. Lambo's holding. He's got 79 supply, though. He holds. But at what cost? But wait. Zanster at the same time has backstabbed in. The infested Terrans were thrown to the high ground, starting to clear up Hurricane's base. He's going to be forced to retreat to the island. How appropriate for a hurricane. It does look like the storm surge is on the way. Leenock finally moving forward with the double siege. He's maxed out. What does Solar have to defend? Sort of has his last unit. 198 supply for Leenock. Hurricane did take a bruising, but he's back up to 170. A lot more Thors moving down. The storms somewhat connect. Hurricane has Archons, but Zanster has been even more patient than anyone else. More patient than Hurricane. More patient than Lambo. He now has the double gold base mining. He's mined out most of the right side. He's got Broodlords, Infestors, Spore Crawlers. He's playing this like a 1v1, and he's going to be enjoying it. Leenock finds some golden minerals. Leenock's still potent at 200 supply, but what upgrades? The Marines have 2-2. He only has 2 medevacs. Lambo is not... He has 1 orbital. Okay, 1 command center, 1 orbital, and is barely mining. Sort of has a pylon. Solar is mining from this base, as is Lambo. I guess Lambo technically has that base as well. The infested Terrans thrown to the high ground. This part of the base has been cleared out. Sort of has 2 probes. And a Phoenix. Just doing some recon. But now Zanster's the man to beat. He's got the army. He's got money in the bank. Thousands of minerals, thousands of gas. Leenock is maxed out, but Marines and tanks aren't going to stand up against Broodlord, Infestor, Spore, Queen, Ravager. It's just not going to happen. Hurricane looking for Lambo's army. He's got the mothership. He's got plenty of storms underneath. Sort of somehow has managed to live this long with the Phoenix as he dodges through everything. More scans coming out. There are 2 Terran players left in the match. Solar realizes that he's not alone on this island. This is happening. Leenock decides to get in on the action. That's kind of a waste of 3 Liberators if the carriers... Okay, well, some teamwork there. And the Liberators move away. Why are so... Wait, can you blink over this? I don't know who that is. Hurricane losing a lot of interceptors to the fungal spore combos. And that's just energy. The interceptors cost money. Hurricane doesn't have unlimited, but he is continuing to expand around the south. Lambo is holding on. He's got 1 Raven, a handful of Vikings, but he's scrambling for money. Solar is as well. Solar at 133 supply. He has 3 carriers. But the Zerg army is more cost-effective. Oh my god. Zanster has 61 Spore Crawlers. He's making himself too big to fail here. Leenock has decided not to try his luck. Sort of Yeah, this is happening. Sort of was defeated. He lost his last pylon. And he can no longer control the Phoenix. Hurricane actually going to try to move through. Some feedbacks popping the queens. He is going to lose the Templar. But he knocks out a lot of the queens there. Zanster has money in the bank, though. Queens can be replaced. This is happening. Lambo trying to expand to the scraps as the map begins to mine out. "20 minutes in. Leenock with 1 Marine on the low ground and about 100 Marines anywhere else. He's trying to lead them back into the massive army that awaits upon the hill. And Leenock looking for money as well, as the minerals on the map are starting to be almost completely drained. There are a few more fresh bases. More scans across the board, mostly from Leenock, as Lambo doesn't really have the orbitals. I guess he has 3. Hurricane has some money, but Infestor Spore Queen Brood. Is there a Neural? There's the Neurals. The Brood Lords will clean up the Immortals. Two Zealots on the ground. Hurricane allowing Lambo to drain the last of these minerals over here. There are a handful of patches, maybe 1,500 minerals. Solar. He doesn't have money in the bank. But Zanster, he is losing in units lost. Oh, Zanster's only lost 4,850 resources in this match. Leenock's only lost 2,500. Now, Zanster has been mining much more. Leenock has a lot of money in the bank. That's a lot of tanks. Leenock might be the dark horse here. Solar as well. As this massive engagement continues to happen. Lambo is the wild card. But Solar has been amassing this carrier fleet. Will he use it on Leenock? Will that drain both their... Leenock stems his entire army with 2 medevacs into Zanster's, I guess, 3rd base. Will Zanster retreat to deal with this? I don't think the medevacs can handle healing all those Marines, but Solar just... Wow, that's awkward. Solar misses the opportunity to kill a bunch of tanks, or maybe there's some sort of alliance. He doesn't have one with Lambo. Lambo caught between carriers on all sides. Another carrier fleet comes for him, and this one will not be stopped. Lambo is about to be eliminated. He taps out. That's it. Leenock still nearly... Now, when does Solar turn on Leenock? Well, he accidentally turning it... Leenock's all over Zanster's main. A few units are coming back, but Zanster, he's already rebuilt most of his tech. Leenock losing a lot of his tanks here. All of his army is killing Zanster at the moment. So Solar is quietly securing this quadrant of the map right now. Oh, some Tempests are knurled and pulled into their death. It appears Solar is just going to cleanse Leenock from the map. Any alliance they might have had is now over. Stims coming out. Really just fight the Interceptors. What are the upgrades on Solar's carriers? +3. He's trying to get underneath, but the Stim's hurting badly. He's actually killing a lot of carriers. Leenock not going gently into this good night. Okay, but, I mean, it was a little rough, but he lost a few carriers in there. But Solar now is essentially uncontested in the northern part of the map. The thing is, there are no more minerals to gather. And then there were 3. We have Hurricane, Zanster, who occupies the eastern province. Solar in the south and the northwest, and Hurricane in the southeast. There are a few more minerals to gather here. Hurricane breaks off of engaging Zanster. Zanster's caught in between two carrier fleets right now. He doesn't... Well, how many spore crawlers? We're looking at 75 spores. It looks like Hurricane is killing off some of his probes because he just doesn't need those anymore. He's maxed out at 200 supply. Zanster has a lot of money in the bank. Solar does not. So Zanster has to hold against a Protoss to either side. But he does have more money in the bank. We're almost mined out. Solar will be draining the rest of this top left island. Just clearing up Leenox buildings so they don't get in the way. And a surprising lull in the action here. As all these players start to realize we've reached the end game, and an asymmetrical three-way is the result. Zanster only has 2 bases. He only has 1 base left to mine. And then very soon there will be no more resources. Hurricane still has access to a lot of gas. Several thousand more. And there are some minerals on this. There are precious few, but there are some minerals. So how does this end? What? But all are maxed out and nobody wants to fight. Now, let's look at the upgrades. So, Zanster has 3/3, 2/2 in the sky. He's got all the Infestor upgrades, +2 melee. Hurricane has 3/3 for the carriers and 2/2 on the deck with Storm. Oh, wait a second. Solar, have you gone too far? Does he recall out? But does Zanster want to commit his army? Hurricane pushing at the southern flank. Are they talking to each other? Maybe. The Protoss is teaming up. Oh, four Archons are left behind. He's gonna kill those for free. A bit of a mistake out of Hurricane there. This is happening. That Archon is let go. Oh, because in the top, they're pushing in. Zanster being sandwiched. Oh, the beautiful storms. All the Corruptors being melted right now. But can he get a neural? He gets the mothership. A Zerg mothership. He recalls away the carriers. The mothership will be taken out. But there's almost no gas left for Solar. Zanster, he lost a lot of Corruptors there. He's draining his bank. He has no more minerals to mine. He only has 800 more gas to mine. He's going to be up to about 2,000. Hurricane still has access. There are 2 fresh gas geysers on this left side. And Solar still has a few thousand gas to mine on the island. Zanster is running out. Zanster, he can't keep this up. Well, he can kill carriers. Where are the storms? The Templar didn't have quite enough energy. Oh, the storms are now hitting home, but he's losing. He can get some transfuses off. The Broodlord's moving forward, hitting the Templar. There's 1 or 2 more storms. No, he uses the feedbacks. Some of the carriers are in the 5th dimension, but here come the Corruptors. The Neuroparasites coming through. The Broodlords are useless now. He's targeting down Infestors, but the Corruptors doing a great job on their own. Zanster is bleeding heavily. He lost a lot. He's out of money, but Solar is gone. GG, and then there were 2. But who stops Hurricane? The first player to take control of an island. With money in the bank and 200 supply. He has 20 carriers, 157 interceptors. He only has 4 Templar, but 4 can be more than enough. Zanster, he doesn't have any more income. Well, this base is not entirely unmined. That's a lot of carriers. How many Corruptors? 29 Corruptors against 20 carriers. Let's not even talk about a fungal. Another fungal. The feedbacks come out. He's fighting, but the storms! That storm wasn't so great. The Corruptors coming in. looking for the carriers. He's actually killed a lot of the interceptors, but not enough. There's still 80. Hurricane comes in, sweeps them away. The storm surge was enough, and the early favorite Hurricane pulls it through with the carriers after 30 minutes, and his dreams were no longer memes in the Memes and Dreams Invitational. And Hurricane takes it. So apparently having 2 bases on an island building carriers is a good strategy. I can attest to that. We all learned something today. Nothing very complicated. All right. Let's look at a real game. Have you played Zealot Hockey? Of course I've played Zealot Hockey.